It's the FIDE World Cup, and we have a clash of titans. The electrifying Hikaru Nakamura versus the tactical genius Nepomniachtchi. Expect fireworks in this one. Nakamura opens with pawn to e4, and Nepo responds with the Sicilian defense. Hikaru chooses the Alapin with pawn to c3, aiming for solid central control. Both sides develop logically, and Black's knight quickly hops into the d5 square. The bishops come out, and Nepomniachtchi strikes in the center with pawn to d5. This forces a series of exchanges, opening the d-file and creating a much more dynamic, unbalanced position. The battle lines are being drawn, and here, Hikaru Nakamura uncorks a brilliant move. He simply castles kingside, completely ignoring his bishop on b3. The idea is incredible. Sacrifice the bishop to blast open the center with a quick pawn to d4 and seize the initiative. What a concept. Nepo accepts the gift, taking the bishop. But Nakamura is right on schedule, recapturing with the queen and then immediately ramming his pawn to d4. The d-file is now wide open, and White's rook slides to d1, building immense pressure. Nakamura's knight lands on the beautiful d4 square, a perfect outpost. Black immediately challenges, sending his own knight out to a5 to attack the white queen. And another one, Nakamura with a second brilliant move, swinging his queen to b5. He's offering another piece, this time the knight on a3. The point is to deflect Black's bishop, recapture on a5, and then swing this monster queen over to h5 for a devastating kingside attack. This is chess at its highest level. Nepomniachtchi takes the bait again, grabbing the knight. But Nakamura's plan unfolds perfectly. The queen recaptures on a5 and then, as planned, flies over to h5. Black tries to consolidate, but the pressure is immense as the knight develops to f3 and the queen shifts to c7. The attack intensifies as the knight jumps to g5, asking serious questions of the Black king's defenses. Nepo is forced to play pawn to g6, creating weaknesses. Nakamura's queen weaves between h3 and h6, keeping Black completely tied down as the bishop shuffles to f8. White's queen probes for an entry point, dancing along the h-file. But Nepo's defense is magnificent, with his bishop expertly shuttling back and forth between e7 and f8 to parry every single threat. Nakamura briefly shifts his queen to f3, trying a different angle. But after Nepomniachtchi finally castles kingside, getting his king to safety, the queen immediately returns to h3 to resume the attack. And now a crucial decision from Black. He pushes his pawn to h5. This creates a hook, a target for White to attack, and sets the stage for the final decisive phase of the game. A third brilliant move from Nakamura, he launches his pawn to g4. This is an absolutely stunning sacrifice designed to blast open the kingside once and for all. The idea is to dislodge the key defenders and create unstoppable threats against the Black king. What a game. The fireworks begin. Pieces fly off the board as Black is forced to capture the aggressive knight on g5. Nakamura recaptures, and after a flurry of moves, White smashes open the h-file with pawn takes h5, gaining a direct line of sight to the king. After playing 3 brilliant moves, Nakamura reaches the critical moment and falters. He has a winning continuation here, but he misses it. The path to victory was clear. Pawn takes pawn on g6, ripping open the king's cover. Black's rook must go to g7 to defend. Then the white rook swings to d4. The knight hops to e5, and the king tucks away to f1, safe and sound with a winning attack. But back in the game, Nakamura plays queen to g3, and this inaccuracy lets Nepomniachtchi right back into the game. The punishing counterblow is coming, and Nepo doesn't hesitate. He immediately pushes his pawn to g5, launching a furious counterattack. The black knight jumps into e5, and suddenly it's the white king who is running for his life. The tables have turned dramatically. Nakamura is in scramble mode. His queen drops back to g2, but Black's knight invades on f3. The white king is forced out into the open, stepping to e2. And here it comes. The knight hops to d4 with a check, initiating what looks like a decisive game-ending sequence. But in this desperate position, Nakamura finds an incredible defensive resource. King to f1. This is the only move that saves the game. Any other step would have been losing, but this precise retreat holds the balance. Nepomniachtchi repositions his knight back to f3, forcing the king to e2, and then delivers the exact same check, with the knight landing back on d4. And again, Nakamura finds the only move, king to f1. He has found the narrow path to survival and is sticking to it, holding on for dear life. And the dance continues. The knight returns to f3, the king steps back to e2, and for the third time, the knight lands on d4 with check. And for the third and final time, the king goes to f1. With this move, a draw by threefold repetition is secured, an unbelievable escape from Nakamura. And that's the game. a hard-fought draw, a tactical masterpiece filled with brilliant sacrifices from Nakamura and an iron-willed defense and counterpunch from Nepomniachtchi. What an incredible battle.